Are you a registered foreign nurse in any of these 7 countries? Nigeria, Philippines, India, the US, the UK, Australia, New Zealand? I've got amazing news for you because the province of Scotia here in Canada has opened their gates to you in an expedited pathway to become a licensed nurse here in Nova Scotia, specifically in the province of Nova Scotia, here in Canada. So you guys, if that's something you're interested in, then you definitely want to keep watching this video. If you're new here, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Temitope Adesonya. A lot of people call me Temi, and on this channel, Healthcare with Temi, we explore how to transition into different healthcare careers here in Canada. We talk about health and wellness, and we also explore career opportunities for professionals in the healthcare field. And today is the turn of nurses, and I'm pretty excited to bring this information to you guys. So without further ado, let's jump right into today's video. So welcome back, guys. And in today's video, you guys, I'm pretty excited about this pathway, if you can tell. But in today's video, we're going to be discussing a little bit about the background of this pathway. We're going to talk about the eligibility criteria. We're going to talk about what are the requirements, what are the things that you need to get ready, what are the things that they are requiring of you. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how you can get yourself ready for this application. So first and foremost, a little bit of background on what this pathway is about. The most important thing that you should know first of all is that this application or this licensure pathway would officially become effective on the 1st of May 2023. This video and this content that I'm releasing on YouTube I made this will be pushed out. I think this is the most current information as at 10th of April 2023. So I'm giving you information from their most recent newsletter, which I subscribed to, and I would encourage you to definitely do that also. So, but it's a little bit of background. So the Nova Scotia College of Nursing, which is also known as NSCN, they are basically working to establish a fast and predictable pathway to licensure in Nova Scotia. And this is something that a lot of provinces are adapting because there is actually a massive shortage in terms of nursing staff and even healthcare professionals in general. But it's been found that there's a shortage of nurses generally across a lot of provinces. So you see a lot of provinces adapting different pathways to bring foreign trained nurses into the country. And then let's just move right into the eligibility criteria. Now, this information that I'm reading to you, like I said, is from their most recent newsletter, which was released just early April. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it somewhere on my screen here as I'm reading it to you guys, and then I'm going to put a link in the description box so that you can also go through it yourself. Okay, so the eligibility criteria is that you are holding a current licensure as a registered nurse in any of these countries. And I will take the countries again, guys. So the countries are Nigeria, the Philippines, India, USA, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. So the eligibility criteria is that you are holding a current license as a registered nurse in this country and that you are in good standing with the licensing authority in your country. Now, the question is, if your answer is yes, then you are good to go in terms of being eligible to apply via this pathway. Okay, so guys, before I move into the registration requirements, I need to emphasize what good standing actually means as part of the eligibility criteria. So they defined it as good standing means that you are not subject to any outstanding complaints with your current regulator, and there are no prohibitions, conditions, agreements, or restrictions on your license or registration with your current regulator that would prevent your registration with the Nova Scotia Council of nurses. Okay, so that's the definition of what they mean by good standing. So let's move right into what the registration and licensure requirements are. So the first one is identification. I'm showing it on my screen as I'm saying this. The first one is identification, and they've already emphasized the kind of documents they want as identification. So they want things like, you can see an highlighted portion there, an highlighted blue portion right there, and you can click there and you can see the list of examples of identification that they want. I think a part of it is a government issued ID, driver's license, international passport, and all of that. So you can just check the blue highlighted portion there and just click on that and find out the list of identification documents that you need, that you can pick from. Then the second requirement is a verification of registration. So remember, we said that the eligibility criteria is that you are currently licensed in the regulatory body as a registered nurse in any of those countries, those 7 countries. So now they need evidence of that, basically, and that you would get that by filling a form. I will try to put a picture of that form here. In the newsletter, they did put like an highlighted portion of the verification of registration form. And basically what you have to do is that you have to print out the form, you have to fill your own portion of the form, which is section A, and then you have to give it to your regulatory body in your country for them to fill the other portion. Basically, they are certifying that you are actually a licensed registered nurse in that country. They are also certifying the year that you graduated from your nursing degree program. They are certifying that you are in good standing with the licensing authority and some other information, and then they just have to sign and fill it, and they have to send it to the Nova Scotia College of Nursing here in Canada by mail or by courier. Okay, so that's all about the verification of registration. Then the third requirement that they need is a criminal record check, which is also known as CRC. Basically, just a criminal record check confirming that you are not a criminal in your home country or in any of these countries, that you are not a criminal. And then they have like a list of bodies or organizations that are approved to do the criminal record check. So you also have to go back to their website to see a list of these organizations that are approved, and then you need to get that done in your home country, and then it gets automatically sent to the college, because remember, these are approved organizations by the college. So the result is done, the check is done, and the result is sent to the college. And then the fourth requirement is English language proficiency. And this one is I'm really happy when I got this update, because when we first heard about this last month, they did not yet provide enough information as to the people that will be excluded from doing the English language proficiency test. And now with this newsletter, it states here that international nurses who have completed their entry-level nursing programs and established registration and licensure in one of the 7 designated countries have been deemed to have met the English language requirements. And so they would not need to do an English language proficiency test. So let me just explain that more. If you received your education in nursing in any of these 7 countries that we already mentioned, you do not need to do the English language proficiency test. Okay, so if, for example, you are Nigerian, you schooled in Nigeria, you got your nursing degree in Nigeria, and you are currently licensed as a nurse in Nigeria, you don't need to. Same as the other countries. However, there's a caveat there. However, even if you are licensed in any of these countries, but you did not receive your nursing education in these countries, you have to do the English language proficiency test. So if, for example, maybe you are from Nigeria and then you went to another country to get your nursing degree, maybe you went to a country that is not on this list. I'm just giving an example now. Maybe you went to Ghana to get your nursing degree, and then you came back to Nigeria, you converted your license, and you started practicing in Nigeria. So you still hold a license in Nigeria, but you did not receive your nursing education in Nigeria. So in that case, you would have to do the English language proficiency test. I hope that makes sense. So the point of it is, if you were educated, your nursing education was in any of these 7 countries, you hold licensure in any of these 7 countries, you are good to go. There is no need for you to have an English language proficiency test. And I think that is really, really amazing. Then, of course, the last requirement now is the examination. And the examination is that they want you to pass the NCLEX exam. Now, specifically, they want you to do the NCLEX RN. So there's the NCLEX RN exam and there's the NCLEX PN exam. NCLEX PN is for practical nurses. Here in Canada, we know them as LPN. And NCLEX RN is for registered nurses. Now, that is specifically the exam that they want you to take. However, note here that they've put it here that if you have not passed the NCLEX exam, NCLEX RN exam, you will still be eligible for a conditional license. So if, for example, you've attempted the exam and you did not pass, it does not mean that you cannot apply. It does not mean that you should then sit down and be waiting for when you pass the exam before you take advantage of this pathway. They are still telling you that they will give you something called a conditional license, which is valid for, I believe they put it there, that is valid for 12 months. It's valid for 12 months or until 3 failed attempts to pass the NCLEX RN exam. And here's another thing. If after 3 failed attempts, if after 3 attempts, you still don't pass the NCLEX RN exam, then they are still telling you that they will tell you that you'll be required to complete a bridging education to be eligible for subsequent conditional licensure. So even if you've not attempted the exam, it still does not stop you from applying as long as you have the plan to write the exam soon. And even if you don't pass the exam at first attempt, it still does not stop you from applying and taking advantage of the pathway. So you guys, those are the 5 requirements. And of course, there is the fee, the application fee. There's going to be an application fee, but we have not yet received information on that yet. That information they may hold on to that until May 1st, when the application link will become available, or they may release that information before the 1st of May. So we just have to wait and see. So all of these 5 things I mentioned, plus application fee, are the registration requirements that they need of you for you to be, you're already eligible for you to be able to register to be on this pathway. So guys, the next part of this video, we're going to be talking about how can you prepare yourself. We've talked about a little bit of background. We've talked about the eligibility criteria. We've mentioned the requirements. You can see everything on their website. It's plain, it's open, it's right there. So how can you prepare yourself? I already mentioned that this pathway is going to officially open on the 1st of May. So how can you prepare yourself between now, when you are watching this video, and the 1st of May? You can make inquiries. For example, I already told you that part of the requirement is for you to get a verification of registration from your nursing body in your country. So you can use this time to start making inquiries on how you can get that done. I know that in a lot of places you may have to pay a fee. So start making inquiries on how much that will cost, how long it will take for you to get that done. Another thing you can start doing now is that you can start looking out for NCLEX approved test centers. A lot of these countries, I went on Google, I deliberately am not mentioning like any specific company or organization that does this, because personally, I cannot vouch for them. I haven't done a deep research to know which ones are good or whatnot. But what I did realize is that in most of these countries, these designated countries, there are NCLEX approved test centers. Put it on Google right now. If you're a registered nurse in India, put it on Google. NCLEX approved test centers in India, and take a look at that. Find out how much is that going to cost. How much is the test materials? How can you get the test materials? When can you write the exams? When are the exam dates that are coming up soon? And when can you write the exams? Those are things that you can start doing now to get yourself ready. Okay. Of course, another part is the criminal record check. Click on the link in the criminal record check on the website. Look at the companies that are there. Just act like you want to get a criminal record check in your country. It may come at a cost. Find out what that cost is. Start getting ready so that when the 1st of May comes, you are good to go. So those are little things you can do. Now, if you are part of the people that would need to do an English language proficiency test, we already explained the differences between those it is compulsory for them to write the test and those who don't need to. If you fall in the category of those who need to write the test, this is the time for you to start preparing. This is the time for you to book a test date. This is the time for you to start studying. Okay, these are things that you can do way beforehand. I mean, we have about 2.5 weeks or so before the 1st of May. You can do that way beforehand and then you're good to go by the time the gates literally open on the 1st of May. We're gradually wrapping up, and I'd just like to point out some interesting things about this pathway. Did you guys notice that there is no age restriction? There is no age restriction. They did not say people under the age of 40, people under the age of 50. There is no age restriction. The eligibility criteria did not give an age limit. The eligibility criteria is that you have an active licensure as a registered nurse in any of these countries. So if you're someone who maybe you're in your 40s or your late 30s and you've been exploring maybe the express entry pool and you've been in the pool for a while, nothing is happening, you may want to consider this, okay? Or if age has always been a discouraging factor for you, in terms of exploring relocating to Canada as a nurse, then you may want to also explore this. Another interesting thing is, like I mentioned before, we don't know what it's going to cost. We have no idea what that will be. We hope that we get to know before the 1st of May, but if not, we will definitely know on the 1st of May. Also note that the application form would also be available on the 1st of May. So to be available as a link, you click it and then you can fill the form and then accompany all your other registration requirements to be able to submit. All right. Okay. So another thing is, and I want to emphasize this, is that this pathway is a pathway to licensure as a registered nurse in the province of Nova Scotia. We've not yet heard what the implication would be in terms of immigration or settlement in Canada. But it goes without saying that if you are successful in this pathway and you become a registered nurse, you have a license as a registered nurse in Nova Scotia, it means that you can start applying for jobs. And remember, the motive of why this province is doing this is because there's a shortage of nurses. So if you have if you become licensed as a registered nurse in this province, it goes without saying that you can then start to apply for jobs, and then this may translate to getting a work visa. But like I said, I'm sure maybe they may give us more information on that if they have any provisions for that, like if they have any provisions in terms of jobs or what's not. But at least this is an assured way to be a licensed nurse in the province of Nova Scotia. So you guys, I'm going to be trying to provide more updates as we get them. That's what this channel is for, providing information on how to transition to different healthcare careers here in Canada. The province of Alberta has also opened another pathway. I'm not putting out that video yet because I've not done my own research on it yet. As soon as I get enough information, I will definitely make a video on that. Now, as regards giving you guys updates on this Nova Scotia pathway, if we get enough information that is robust enough for me to make a video, I would definitely do that. But if it's just little bits of information, I will be posting it on my community page on my YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so, because if it's little bits of information, I'll just post it on the community page so that people are well informed of every update. And I'll definitely want to encourage you to subscribe to their newsletter, okay? Subscribe to their newsletter so that you can get this information I'm giving you today. I got it because I subscribed to their newsletter, and I got it just like 3-4 days ago. So subscribe to their newsletter so that you can get as they are releasing it, you are becoming more updated in what exactly is going on, and that's definitely going to help you with your application. So thank you guys for watching this video. I was really excited to shoot this one because I believe that it's amazing news for foreign nurses in all of these countries. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much. If you've subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And till next time, stay informed. Bye.